Today we've got another big update on the Samsung Galaxy S26 Ultra, and this one brings full color confirmations, first benchmark results, and some important clarity on the overall lineup. First up, before we get into the Ultra, we finally got official confirmation on the whole S26 lineup. Samsung Colombia has published a promotional document and it clearly lists the Galaxy S26, the S26 Plus and the S26 Ultra, and that tells us two important things. Now first, there's going to be no S26 Edge at this launch, and second, it completely shuts down earlier rumors that the base model was going to be renamed to the Galaxy S26 Pro. There are still a few reports that suggest the S26 Edge could arrive later on in the year, and that's not impossible, but this document confirms it's not going to be part of the initial S26 launch. Now unfortunately, we also have some less exciting news for the base model. Despite the earlier rumors of faster charging, leaker Ahmed Quaidar now says that the standard S26 is going to remain at 25-watt wired charging, not the 45-watt we were promised by other leakers. But the small upside is going to be a battery bump, and it's increasing from 4,000 to 4,300 mAh, which should at least help with day-to-day endurance. Now onto the launch details, because we finally got the launch date. According to Ice Universe, Samsung's official Unpacked event is going to take place in San Francisco on February the 25th. Now pre-orders are expected to open the same day, and then the device is going to be shipping a couple of weeks later in March. So now let's focus on the star of the show, the Galaxy S26 Ultra. Now first up, the color options were already confirmed by Ice Universe, but he initially just listed the colors, but now he's backed everything up by posting images of the SIM card trays, and they show you the color-coded outer frame. Now the final lineup includes Black Shadow, White Shadow, Galactical Blue, and Ultraviolet, and this confirms that previous rumors of an orange color isn't happening. Now this year's hero color is clearly going to be the Ultraviolet, and Samsung seems to be going for a more refined, premium look rather than something bold, and honestly it feels like the right direction. Now next up, we've got the first benchmark results, and they're pretty impressive. The Galaxy S26 Ultra, powered by the Snapdragon 8 Gen 5, has appeared on Geekbench, and we get a single core score of 3,815, and then a multi-core score of 11,555. Now keep in mind, this is a very early software version, so performance is only going to improve with optimization, but it already confirms a 4.74 GHz CPU and a higher clocked GPU running at 1.3 GHz, and this is going to make it the most powerful mobile chip available right now. Now one of the biggest real-world upgrades for the S26 Ultra is going to be this new privacy display. We've already seen One UI leaks confirming that the feature can be enabled or disabled entirely in software, and we've had previous videos of Samsung showcasing this Flex Magic Pixel technology, and it gives us a clear idea of exactly how this display is going to work. The display blocks visibility from people from the sides without ruining viewing angles when you don't need that privacy, and it makes it ideal for sensitive apps like banking or work emails. Now cameras are also getting some important refinements. While the S26 Ultra is keeping the same sensors, Samsung is tweaking the camera module design, and it's also introducing wider apertures, and this is going to allow more light into the lens for improved low light photography and video. Ice Universe also confirms that Samsung is focusing heavily on accurate, realistic color reproduction. Great news for anyone who prefers natural photos, and for those of you that want punchier, bolder look, you can always boost it in post. To give you a proper look at all of this, I've created these 3D renders of the Galaxy S26 Ultra in all of these new confirmed colors, and I tried to make them as accurate as possible, but until we see Samsung's official marketing images, the exact shades are still estimates. Now that being said, with launch so close now, official renders should drop any day, and I'll update these as soon as they do. Now for those excited, we're now going to run through the full specs, design, and the expected pricing for each model in the S26 lineup, so hit subscribe now and we'll get right into it. So first up, we've got the standard Galaxy S26, which is coming with a 6.3-inch dynamic AMOLED display. We get a 120Hz display with HDR10+ and a resolution of 1080 by 2340, and it's going to be protected by Gorilla Glass Victus 3. We get a 12-megapixel punch-hole camera for the selfies, and then over on the rear it's a triple camera setup consisting of a 50-megapixel primary camera, a 12-megapixel ultra-wide, and a 12-megapixel telephoto. It's going to be powered up by the Snapdragon 8 Elite Gen 5 in some regions, with the Exynos 2600 globally, and it's coming with 12GB of RAM and up to 512GB of storage, which will be UFS 4. We get a 4300 mAh battery with 25-watt fast charging and 15-watt wireless charging, and of course it's going to come with 5G, Bluetooth 6, Wi-Fi 7 and ultra-wideband support, and it's going to be launching with One UI 8.5 based on Android 16, and it's expected to launch from $800 in February 2026. Next up, we've got the Galaxy S26 Plus, which is coming with a 6.7-inch dynamic AMOLED display. We get a 120Hz display with HDR10+ and a resolution of 3120 by 1440. It's going to be protected by Gorilla Glass Victus 3. We get a 12-megapixel punch-hole camera for the selfies, then over on the rear it's a triple camera setup consisting of a 50-megapixel primary camera, a 12-megapixel ultra-wide and then a 12-megapixel telephoto with 3x optical zoom. It's going to be powered by the Snapdragon 8 Elite Gen 5 in some regions and then the Exynos 2600 globally, and it's coming with 12GB of RAM and up to 512GB storage. We get a 4900 mAh battery with 45-watt fast charging, and it will of course come with 5G, Bluetooth 6, Wi-Fi 7 and ultra-wideband support, and it's going to be launching with One UI 8.5 based on Android 16. It's expected to launch from around $1,000 in February 2026. Next up, we've got the Galaxy S26 Edge, and this may be coming later in 2026 if it's not pulled from the lineup altogether. And it's coming with a 6.7-inch dynamic AMOLED display with a 120Hz display with HDR10+, a resolution of 1440 by 3120, and is protected by Gorilla Glass Victus 3. We get a 12-megapixel punch-hole camera for the selfies, and over on the rear it's a dual camera setup consisting of a 200-megapixel wide-angle and a 50-megapixel ultra-wide. It's going to be powered by the Snapdragon 8 Elite Gen 5, and it's coming with 12GB of RAM and a choice of 256 or 512 storage, which will be UFS 4, and it's coming with a 4200 mAh battery with improvements to fast charging. And it will of course come with 5G, Bluetooth 6, Wi-Fi 7 and ultra-wideband support, and it's going to be launching with One UI 8.5 based on Android 16. And if it does get launched, it's coming later on in 2026 at a launch price of around $1,100. Now finally, we've got the most premium model, the Samsung Galaxy S26 Ultra. And the S26 Ultra is coming with a 6.9-inch dynamic AMOLED display. We get a 120Hz display with HDR10+ and a resolution of 1440 by 3120, and it's going to be protected by Gorilla Glass Armor 3. We get a punch-hole camera top center to house a 12-megapixel selfie camera, and then over on the rear we've got a quad camera setup consisting of a 200-megapixel primary camera with an aperture of f1.4. We've got a 50-megapixel ultra-wide, a 50-megapixel periscope with 5x optical zoom, and then a 12-megapixel telephoto with 3x optical zoom. It's going to be powered by the Snapdragon 8 Elite Gen 5 in all regions, and it's coming with 12GB of RAM and 1TB of storage, which will of course be UFS 4. It's coming with a 5000 mAh battery with an upgrade to 60-watt fast charging and 25-watt wireless, and it will of course come with 5G, Bluetooth 6, Wi-Fi 7 and ultra-wideband support, and it's launching with One UI 8.5 based on Android 16. It is expected to launch from around $1,300 in February 2026. So overall, the Galaxy S26 Ultra is shaping up to be a solid, refined upgrade rather than a radical one. We're getting meaningful hardware improvements, subtle design tweaks, and a lot of software features that should genuinely improve everyday use. Now, AI continues to play a big role, especially in photography and video, and while charging speeds aren't revolutionary, there's still a welcomed improvement. Now that being said, because it's still so close to the S25 Ultra, I don't expect many current owners to be rushing out and upgrading, and honestly, I just don't think they need to. But for anyone on an older Galaxy S device, or those considering their first Samsung flagship, then the S26 Ultra is shaping up to be a very strong choice. It would launch around the corner on February 25th, more confirmations are going to be coming in fast, and of course I'll be sharing them as soon as they come in, so make sure you subscribe so you don't miss a thing in the future.